Before we begin, stay with us until the end of this video, because what we uncover in the final minutes might change the way you see time, space, and our future. A message is hidden in the data, and at the end, we'll show you what it might mean. It started like any other day in the control room at the Arecibo Observatory's reconstructed station, rebuilt after its tragic collapse in 2020. But on August 7th, 2028, something strange happened. At exactly 3:41 a.m. GMT, a signal was picked up from a direction in space known to contain absolutely nothing. No stars, no galaxies, just intergalactic void, a place as empty as it gets. And yet, a pulse came through. It wasn't noise. It wasn't random. It wasn't from Earth. And what chilled the researchers to the bone was that the signal contained data. Encoded inside were coordinates, timestamps, and descriptions of an event that, as far as everyone knew, had not yet happened. Until exactly 3 days later, when it did. A solar flare erupted from the sun, intense and unexpected, knocking out satellites over the Indian Ocean. Just as the signal had warned, that's when everything changed. The media caught on fast. A new WOW signal, headlines read, referencing the famous WOW signal from 1977, a 72-second radio burst that still defies explanation. But this 2028 signal was different. For one, the WOW signal was just intensity, no message. This new signal was more like a packet, a compressed archive. It arrived over exactly 3.14 seconds. Yes, precisely pi in time length. And then, nothing. As if whoever sent it had done the calculations to make it unforgettable. The location problem. The source? Astronomers calculated its origin to be near the Bode's Void, an area 330 million light-years wide, nearly empty of galaxies. Sending a signal from that far would take 330 million years to reach us. Unless it didn't come from there in the past, it came from now, or worse, from the future. Could we have just received a message from the future? Let's consider one possibility: causal loop theory, a concept in theoretical physics where an event in the future causes an event in the past, which in turn causes the future event, a closed time loop. If someone or something in the future knew that a solar flare would occur and wanted to warn us, they'd need to send that message back in time. But that raises a problem. How? General relativity permits time dilation and even closed time-like curves under extreme conditions, such as near a rotating black hole, a Kerr black hole. But even if theoretically possible, could an advanced civilization or AI manipulate this? Some physicists, like Kip Thorne, have explored these ideas using wormholes. If a wormhole could be stabilized with exotic matter, one end might lead into the past, but we've never observed one. Unless we just did, not in space, but in radio frequencies. A temporal wormhole for information? The decoded message contained a timestamp, August 10th, 2028, 12:09 GMT, coordinates for the flare's expected eruption, an energy range, X 9.8 class solar flare, a single word embedded in a wave. Prepare, just that. Prepare, not evacuate, not run, just prepare. That implies intent, not a natural cause, not a fluke. Was this the result of someone monitoring our timeline and choosing that exact moment to intervene? Was it a warning from the future or from a different version of our timeline? If the message didn't come from our future, perhaps it came from another future. Enter the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics. In this theory, every possible outcome exists in its own separate universe. What if the signal came from a version of Earth where the solar flare caused global disaster, where no satellites were protected, where chaos followed, and someone or something managed to send out a desperate signal? through dimensions? We now enter the realm of interdimensional communication. Theoretical physicist Michio Kaku has speculated that a Type 3 civilization, on the Kardashev scale, might be capable of bending reality itself, not just traveling through time, but skipping across parallel universes like stepping stones. Could such a civilization exist in the void? Could that signal have crossed not just time, but worlds? And why would they help us? Here's a terrifying thought. What if the message didn't come from a civilization at all, but from an AI? One that has lived for eons, one that watches from outside time, and one that has an interest in protecting Earth for reasons we cannot understand. Think about it. A machine intelligence evolved far beyond biological life might view time not as a straight line, but as an editable database. Maybe it noticed an anomaly in its simulation, our solar flare, and chose to correct it. This brings us into simulation theory. What if we're being edited? What if the signal wasn't a message, but a patch? Surprisingly, this isn't the first time something like this has happened. 1. The 1977 WOW signal, received from the constellation Sagittarius, lasted 72 seconds, never repeated. Some theorize it was a message, but we couldn't decode it. 2. Fast radio bursts, FRBs, discovered in 2007. Short, intense pulses from deep space. Some repeat, some don't. 1 FRB 121102 has repeated over 300 times from the same spot. Could these be part of a larger pattern? A breadcrumb trail laid out over decades, or tests, calibrations? Imagine a being trying to perfect the art of sending messages across time. They'd need practice, failed attempts, and finally a success in 2028. Since the signal, new efforts have been launched. NASA, ESA, and even private observatories have begun monitoring the Bodas void around the clock. No second message has arrived, but something else has changed. Satellites over the Indian Ocean now report intermittent bursts of microwave noise, unexplainable by natural or human activity. And just recently, a team in Chile's Atacama Desert claims to have replicated the signal's signature using quantum-entangled photons. They didn't send a message back, not yet, but they say they felt watched. Now remember what we said at the beginning? If you've stayed with us this far, you deserve to know what else was found in the 2028 signal. In the final milliseconds, unnoticed until months later, a visual pattern emerged in the spectrographic data. When rendered graphically, it forms an image, a rotating sphere, with a pattern of clouds and continents. It looks like Earth, but not ours, not exactly. The land masses are different, familiar, yet alien. Could this be the world that sent the signal? Or the world we're becoming? What if this wasn't the end, but the beginning? In our next episode, we'll travel to a strange world that doesn't behave like any planet we know. It pulses, it shifts, it might even think. Could it be alive? Or worse, could it be waking up? Stay tuned for episode 2, The Thinking Planet, when a world begins to wake up. Don't forget to subscribe to No Way, because the universe just whispered something to us, and we're about to whisper back.